Hi there everyone, and welcome to FiST Chat, the vodcast that features discussions on the topics of film, science and technology. My name is Ben Warner and I'm joined once again by my good friend and colleague Steve Kern. How are we doing today, Steve?
Hi everyone out there in FiST Chat land. Yeah, I'm well. I'm very well, thank you.
Yes, and we're enjoying each other's company yet again on these Macs that we enjoy using. And that's a lot about what we're going to talk about today, isn't it?
Wow, some of it, I guess. I'm not sure what there is really to say.
Yeah, exactly. Just so you don't forget, our website's www.fistchat.com. That's actually on the screen at the moment that you're watching. You can get us on Facebook and Twitter. Don't forget, you can interact with us there. We're always looking for people to talk to and engage. This isn't just us talking; it's also a chance for you guys to get involved as well. And you can.
Sorry, Ben. It's the whole world, FiST Chat fans. It's the whole world talking.
Absolutely. And you can get all of our back episodes at YouTube, Vimeo, and Digicosm TV. You can subscribe to us on iTunes, RSS, and FeedBurner Audio. And of course, we've got all of our wonderful supplementary content as well, the weekly blogs, photography, videos of interest. We've got it all. And if, of course, you happen to see someone or know someone that would be interested in what we ramble about on every week, feel free to introduce them to us, and or introduce us to them, I should say, and it should all be good. So we'll move on to the main topic today, and WWDC happened just recently, and there are a lot of announcements made by Apple, especially along the future of their product line in a way. I don't know, Steve, I was a little underwhelmed with what I saw. Maybe it's just gotten to the point that Apple's not really going to announce those really big, things anymore. It seemed a lot of evolutionary stuff and stuff that we'd come to suspect. What do you think?
Well, they set us up for it because a few weeks ago, Tim Cook said Apple was going to come out with some truly amazing advances. Now, either without Steve Jobs there anymore, they set the bar really low, or you're right, they're just softening us up for something big in another 6 months or so.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if we just have a quick look at what they announced, the main sort of big thing that happened was an overhaul of the MacBook line, pretty much. The traditional Airs and Pros got some updates, which is good. Obviously, the showstopper was the slim MacBook Pro 15-inch model, which got everyone talking with its high-definition Retina display, and I think it's about as thin as your finger or something like that. If
you've got really thin fingers, I'm sure.
We'll come back to that in a moment because it actually relates to the cloud a lot, I think, and the future of how things are going to work. Just some other things that they covered. Obviously, iOS 6 and Mountain Lion were mentioned, and iOS 6, just quickly, again, I wasn't all that interested in what I saw there. It seems like it's gotten to the stage where it really needs a major sort of update. It still looks like how it did in 2007, in effect.
Yeah, well, Ben, I think this is just a question of them hitting the wall. They probably don't have all their hardware or new systems in place, and so I think they're just trying to make a lot out of, stretching the limits of the current system to where they can. But I didn't find anything particularly exciting about it, and I think the next big developments will be hardware again, not software.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for example, they're showing off major advances in Siri and how much it had learnt. And, the first thing they show is how it can pull up sports statistics. Now, I'm not like a sports fan, although I do love soccer, but I'm not going to be using it for that.
No, and I mean, Siri was a novelty and still is. And until Siri can have a 3-sentence conversation with you, it's all old hat.
Yeah, absolutely. Some of the features in Mountain Lion, again, were interesting, I think, and we'll tie this into the cloud as well. The main thing, of course, was, I think, this sort of more further integration with iOS and how, in effect, we've talked about this before, it's not going to matter which device you pick up. You'll work on something on one device, you'll go to the other device, it'll just be there for you to continue working on. It removes the hassle of actually having to save a file, transferring it, putting it on a USB stick. Basically, it's removed the save function entirely. It just does it for you in the background, and I kind of like that idea. It puts the focus more on actually doing the work rather than managing the work.
Oh, absolutely. Interestingly, I was having a discussion about this at a dinner party on the weekend, and, a group of us were just talking about exactly that. I guess that is the advantage of going to the cloud, is that, you can have any device. It doesn't have to have any hard drive storage or any large storage device attached to it, and it's uploaded, saved, and accessible to you from wherever you access that software application. I think, like many things, we're going to enjoy it in the short term, but somewhere down the track, I think we might yearn for the good old days.
Absolutely. And, of course, it's not really going to be practical unless you can upload your 60-minute 1080p video in under a minute. If you can do that, then we might have gotten somewhere.
Well, we've said this before. You can probably do that in the States. I mean, in Australia, we're going to have to wait another 10 years for the NBN.
Yeah, absolutely. Before we talk a little bit more about that new MacBook Pro as well, just another funny story I saw on Macworld. It's apparently there's some geography mistakes in that new Maps app. Apparently it's confusing Greenland with the Indian Ocean for the Arctic Ocean, and Africa for the North Pacific Ocean.
Yes.
So some teething problems in there.
It may well be, but I think, maybe they're just doing that to try and cover up some of the privacy issues that they're encountering now. There's, I think we'll be talking more about that in the next few months.
Absolutely. Did you think that Maps app was anything interesting, or?
Well, we've all used Maps before. I guess it's more that we know where they're headed with it, and more that we now know that they want to be a competitor to Google.
Yeah.
But Maps are maps. I mean, I like maps on paper too.
You like the old street directories then?
I do, actually. They allow you visually to plan a route, which I guess will be a skill that's lost in the next 10 years for the next generation. So I'm quite comfortable with looking at a piece of paper and memorising, up to 5 or 6 turns.
Yeah, that sounds all right. I mean, we wouldn't want to stress our memory too much in the future now, would we?
Well, you're going to have to keep space there for your timeline.
Absolutely. Now, if we just finish up by talking about that new thin MacBook Pro, this, I think, along with the Airs, is really where the future of their laptop range is going. It's built for the cloud. You can just see it. It's the removal of the optical drive. It's the removal of so many ports. Now,
which you said it would, Ben. You've been worried about this for a long time.
I'm glad I got my laptop already, but interesting, they hedged their bets and kept the old line going. So,
okay.
So this is just sort of an introduction. I'm thinking maybe next year or the year after, they're just going to can the current range entirely and go with this thin line. Maybe they might even converge them with the Air line. Who knows?
I've got to ask right at this point then, if they do that, how are you going to be able to edit your high definition video?
Well, they either release some cameras that have got Thunderbolt connectors on them, or you have to buy the dongle, which I always love that. An extra accessory to plug in your FireWire cables. FireWire's being spectacular for transferring video. They reckon maybe with Thunderbolt you'll be able to transfer the videos over a lot quicker. I guess maybe that's the case because it'll all be on flash media, and obviously it's like transferring a file. You don't have to worry about capturing it, second for second.
Well, so, that's right. And if you've got the architecture there, then, you get it across a lot more quickly.
Absolutely. So I think, all in all, I think this was really about the cloud. I think the whole lot. I think that's where it's all going. I'm old school. I like my extra connections and whatever else. I don't mind if it's a little bit thicker and all of that. And I just like to have all those options there. So I guess we'll wait and see if we can make it work. That'll be fine. I'm not really so fussed about the loss of the optical drive. I'm not really using discs that much anymore. But we'll have to see how it all goes.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's going to be very interesting for our generation. And I think, Ben, the one thing is there's only a very small percentage of people like yourself and myself who have ever edited video seriously at home. Yeah. Everyone else now, all the surveys they do show everyone's happy enough to do it on an iPad. Yeah. So, it's really probably only, home techos who do video or, once upon a time would have done high-end, just graphics at home. Who probably will be affected. Everyone else will just come second nature, just like using an iPhone.
Absolutely. All right, we'll move on to our news bites. We're about right at that time. Now, we'll start with the film one. And, we're talking about Pixar. There's a bit of an Apple connection there, thanks to Steve Jobs. But what I thought was interesting was this guidelines for how to tell a story. And I think pretty much every Hollywood executive should read this because I don't think they've been doing it all that much. But it's basically, let's see, there's 22 here, and I'll just say a couple here. Simplify, focus, combine characters. Admire a character for trying more than for their successes. Trying for theme is important, but you won't see what the story is actually about till you're at the end of it. Then you rewrite it. What's your character good at, comfortable with? But one of the things that I thought was the most interesting was you got to keep in mind what's interesting to you as an audience, not what's fun to do as a writer. That can be very different. So,
that's really interesting. I thought writers were always trained to write for themselves, and but in that the audience. I don't know. Like maybe that's where Hollywood goes wrong.
Maybe we'll never know. We'll never know. Okay, we'll move on to a science one. This was quite cool that you sent through. Older dads may give kids longer lives. Do you want to maybe just tell us a bit about that?
Well, it's very interesting. Where do we begin? We've spoken about this subject before, but effectively on the ends of your chromosomes, there are like the eyelets on the end of shoelaces. And the longer they are, the less prone you are to all the normal mutations that cause aging. So what they're saying is that the older the male is, the longer and stronger those little caps are on the ends of the chromosomes. Hopefully then that translates to longevity for the offspring.
Oh, very interesting, huh? So I guess that might flip the whole dating scene on its head.
Well, it sort of makes sense because it ties in with, a longer successful lineage. So if you had a dominant male, the longer that male is dominant, then the longer those genes will last. So it's probably an evolutionary advantage.
Absolutely. Okay, we'll move on to our tech news bite, and this one sent a shudder down my spine when I first read it because Skype is helping us to produce FiST chat. But how would you like to see ads on Steve's feed when it's coming through? But as it turns out, we don't have to worry about this just yet. It's only going to be on audio calls, but you can only imagine it's a matter of time before they actually introduce it on across the board. Is this Microsoft's fault?
Well, I don't know. I just think it's the way that we're going now. I mean, you look at what's happening at Facebook. Everyone now, all of a sudden, the flavour of the internet is advertising, and they're trying to monetize it. Paywalls, I guess they've given up on, and everyone thinks, well, free to air TV works, so how about free to air internet? Except it's not really free and it's not very private.
Absolutely. So I don't know what we're going to do if Skype starts introducing ads. I guess maybe we'll have to migrate to FaceTime finally.
Yeah, or I think you can pay for them to disappear.
Yeah, that's always good value for money, isn't it? Okay, we'll just have some final thoughts and recommendations now. So I just want to recommend all of you that the Apple TV is really a worthwhile piece of equipment to have in the arsenal of tech. I watch a lot of content now. I find it really great for watching podcasts in particular. You just stream them straight onto your TV in your living room. I watch a lot of TED Talks that way, so it works really well. So, and what about you, Steve? Then any final thoughts, recommendations?
Well, just one, FiST Chat fans, Google Voyager. The
Yes.
Voyager probe now has left the solar system. The first craft, maybe the first something from the planet is out there. And who knows, maybe one day it'll meet someone.
Wouldn't that be a thought?
Well, it's just, it's our history on there on that little gold disc. So who knows?
And it's still functioning, which is amazing as well.
Yeah, from, I don't know, however many billion kilometres away, it shines the equivalent of a flashlight back at Earth, and they pick it up just outside of Canberra. Amazing.
Fantastic. Okay, we're out of time, so thanks again, Steve, for the chat.
Thank you. See you, FiST Chat fans.
Absolutely. So we're out of time. That's it for this week's episode, so we'll catch you next week.